Welcome to All About The Gers, brought to you by our sponsors, the JR Group, Plugged In Business Solutions, DB Dental Care, Reflex Blue, The Right Software, Dev Provider, and Avia Signs. Our chosen charity partner is the Second Chance Project. We are now official agents for the Rangers Lotto. Find out more at www.allaboutthegers.co.uk.
Hello and welcome to All About The Gers. It's myself, Ricki Neill. Just want to do a big shout out to all our sponsors. Thanks again for sponsoring us this season. I'll just get straight into our special guest as well. We've got the amazing Scott Kyle. How are you doing, Scott?
I'm very well, thank you. Thanks for having me.
I know, it's good to see you. I know you're a very busy man with your show, but we'll talk about that later as well. And there we've got Charlie in the dark again. You need to invest in some lights, by the way.
It can't be that dark. Is it
just
that bad? How's that?
Fine. That's better. Shine it in your face. You know, so it's good to that's better. Derek's away on holiday, just let us know this morning, like typical Derek.
Yes, as he does.
We thought he was maybe away celebrating that his brother's interim manager. But we'll get straight into football. Scott, we'll come to you first. Obviously, the result against St Mirren, we had a chance to claw back a few points against Celtic after their defeat against Hibs, and you'd have thought the players would have been right out there giving it all, but it was probably one of the worst performances I've seen Rangers play in a long time.
I never actually seen that one, Ricky. We were in Airdrie doing Singin I'm, Billy's a Tim, but we were aware obviously that Celtic had lost that day, and we're busy putting together the ad libs and the new bits of the show that are going in, and obviously we're sitting there going, right, well, but there's a bit in it where Colin does, you know, he's a Celtic fan, he does minus whatever the points are, and it was going to be to minus 10, and then it was back up to minus 13 because Rangers didn't beat St Mirren. So I didn't actually see the game, but I was at the Queen's Park game, and that was awful. I mean, that was absolutely awful.
Aye. Charlie, like loads of people have been saying that Clement had lost the dressing room, and does that actually happen in football? Because that's what it looked like at the weekend.
Well, I think first and foremost, I think he should have been sacked after the Queen's Park game. Just that's simple facts. I just think, why we wait to beat Hearts and then lose to St Mirren at home and then sack him? I know Celtic lost that day as well, but it's still it was going to take a monumental effort to win the league for even 10 points behind. It was still disappointing, no actually beating St Mirren on Saturday, but we get bullied on Saturday. But for me, he should have been away after the Queen's Park game, and we were lucky to beat Hearts. Butland did a very good game, although a lot of the shots were straight at him. And we get 2 own goals that kind of saved his job for another week. But watching the game on Saturday, we get bullied. There was no enthusiasm. There was nobody in about it. I think the only one that was maybe moaning around about people was wee Raskin, trying to get people up for it. And the boy in Salah, who I think will be a very, very good player. It was a wee wake-up call for him on Saturday. At first, I thought it was a free kick on him, but I thought the guy clipped his heels. He obviously clipped his own heels. And then they get buffed for the second one where he has to be stronger. But I've got high hopes for Salah, and I think he'll do very well. And I think it'll help him in the long run, and he'll be a very, very good player for us. But, as I said, he should have been out 2 weeks ago. Clement, and I'm always been one that wants to kind of stick by him and support him and try and, because there was some times where we thought we're turned a corner, we're improving, and then bump, and it just happened too many times, and the players chuck it. I was very fortunate to play in a team at Rangers that we were very successful, and we didn't know what losing was really. So the teams I played in never chucked it. But it looks as if it's going to be a very, very difficult time for Barry and Dodsey and Neil McCann, Terry to come in. I was shocked with the appointment. Do I think it's the right one? I don't know yet. For me, still, I think Derek McKenna should be getting the job at the end of the season, hopefully, or because I think he'll get us organised, he'll get us hard to beat. I think we'll have an identity again, but it was just so disappointing this Saturday because the whole team would get bullied, and St Mirren thoroughly deserved to win the game. Sorry about that rant. That went on a bit long.
There's Paul asking, Charlie, did you not get a wee phone call to join the Fabulous Four?
I need the famous five. No, definitely not. I think I might be a wee bit too nuts for that, but or I might be waiting for Mourinho to get the job after Clement slagging him as well. But I was shocked. Well, I was shocked, and I was very surprised that the guys that came in, and I wish them all the best. I hope they can go and win every single game at the end of the season. Then they might have to keep them on. It's a difficult job for them, and they know what it's like to play for Rangers, and I'm sure they'll get them up for the coming games, and hopefully can go on a wee run, and we see how things go.
Scott, what's your thoughts on it? Like, just how can we turn up against a team in Europe and play so well, but then do things like that against Queen's Park and St Mirren?
To be honest, Ricky, I've supported Rangers my whole life. I've never played for them like Charlie has, but I kind of look at it and I go, they're turning up in Europe. They turned up against Celtic, beat them 3-0, and I'm going, is it the shop window case for a lot of the boys that are there looking for a move somewhere? Is that what it is? Is it right? They know eyes are on the European matches and they're turning up, and then beating Celtic 3-0. I mean, God, boy, did we need that? Do you know what I mean? And then turning up, I was stunned at the Queen's Park game, going like, he's something to shout about. When I was at the European game a couple of weeks before it, and what an atmosphere and what a great night to be party. So I don't know. As I say, there's what Charlie's saying is I grew up watching the kind of 9-in-a-row teams, and I remember McCoy arguing with Gascoigne against Hearts in the cup game. Do you know what I mean? Like, everybody wanting to win. You're watching the boys, the body language, and going, there's no that. They're no holding each other to a standard. I did like talking about the St Mirren game before. Obviously, Neil McCann was appointed part of the management team. I watched the highlights, and he was kind of pointing out a lot of negative kind of play going back the way. Even the throw in, there was a throw in they took, and they went back the way rather than going up the line. And he was chatting away that should be forward, and he was kind of labeling it on the manager. And I don't think at the time he'd any inkling that he'd be at Ibrox the next week. But that's kind of positive because he was saying all the right things in the commentary. And I watched all the interviews with Barry Ferguson as well, and he was saying the same, that it'll be attacking. So time will tell, like Charlie says. Wish the four all the best, and time will tell.
Right, Charlie, see, like, obviously we could have clawed back some points at the weekend there. Does that play in a player's mind that they've got a chance of actually doing that, getting somewhere? Still there?
Nah, I think he's frozen now.
I think he's frozen.
Aye,
I think he was thinking about it there. Aye. Do you know what I mean, Scott? Do you think like they are thinking, I've got a chance here?
Do you know what I think? Sometimes that when I've been at Ibrox, you look at when the crowd are getting frustrated with certain things, you sit and wonder, is that a rattling, or is it? I think it was the interview with McCann. He was saying, are they intimidated by their own fans at Ibrox? And there's an aspect of going, because the standards are so high for that crowd, and you wonder if it's playing on their mind, particularly if they go 1-0 down. Do you know what I mean? And I think the same can be said, like, say, at Man United as well. I think they're very aware of the circumstances they're in, the situation. I think that's happening at Ibrox, definitely.
There's Charlie back. And Caroline had to help you out there. Oh, maybe he's no back.
Is my internet gone or something?
Aye. Oh, you're back now.
Can you see it? Aye. He just nipped to the bar there. He's a wido.
I can't hear.
You're back now, Charlie. Aye.
I'm back. Well, I thought you had chucked it, not me.
No, I just asked you a question, and I was waiting for ages for an answer.
What was the question? Sorry.
Scott kind of answered that. I was just thinking, like, see when a football player sees there's a chance to claw back 3 points for the rivals kind of thing, does that play in a player's mind? Do they sometimes try too hard or what? Or?
Well, I wish you tried too hard on Saturday because they definitely didn't show it. If we get the chance to go, we were never 10 points behind right enough, but if we had the chance to go 3 points ahead of Celtic at the time or whatever, and they'd lost, we would go out and take, 9 times out of 10 we would go out and take the opportunity. But Saturday, I thought there's a wee chance here. We get a wee result, and then you never know what happens. The players will be up for it, and we just get bullied all over the pitch. That was the most disappointing thing for me, is we didn't actually create much either. Alex Gogic, who's a very, very average football player in my eyes, who's had a good career, he was just buffing people, Dessers and whatever, and it didn't take. It took Ngami to, I think it was 50 odd minutes when he was going to get sent off to actually go, right, I'm going to actually start running about and start doing some stuff here. And he started bullying people a wee bit. But by that time, the game had gone. I think it might have been the first half when he started thinking, I'm going to get involved in the game. But it was so disappointing. And Clement's starting to say, Clement can only get the blame for so much. It's the players. It has to be on the players. And he's not getting the best out of them, and I get that. But the players have to look at themselves, because it's the last 3 managers. It's the same, very, very similar amount of the players that have still been there, 80% of them or whatever. They've been poor. And I just worry for the guys coming in, like Barry and that coming in, that the players, they're no winners, and that's a big worry.
Aye, I know. It can turn like a legend like Barry into, because McCoy's kind of got the same as well, Everybody seems to forget how good McCoy was for Rangers. I just think his managerial career bad. I don't think he was given a fair shot because there was so many things going on in the background as well, So I don't think McCoy's really got a fair chance to show what he could do.
McCoy definitely didn't get a fair shot, no doubt about it, because he had to carry the club through one of its toughest times in history, or the toughest time in history, definitely. And he didn't get a fair shot. Was his football great, or was getting up through the leagues easy for him? Probably not, because of the situation he was under behind the scenes, and we don't always see what's happening behind the scenes. And I actually feel sorry for Clement to an extent, that he's been given a raw deal with, as in transfer and finances and things like that. But we still should have enough to beat St Mirren and Queen's Park, no doubt about it, 100%.
Aye. Scott, since up until 2014, we'd only ever had 13 managers at Rangers. We've had 6 managers since then, and that's not including intern managers filling in. Has football changed? Do football managers not getting much of a chance, or are the fans expecting so much more now?
I definitely think the game's changed. I think boards can hide behind a new manager. It's easy enough. If it's not going their way, the boards can just swap a manager out and maybe get a wee bounce back, and they take the pressure off themselves. I think it's an easy thing in the modern game. But ultimately, Ricky, if you're not winning, you're going to go through managers, and that's unfortunately what's been happening at Rangers, for the past decade, essentially, is that we've not been there. I did a wee stat there. You were chatting away about Coisty there. I seen a stat come up on one of the programmes I was watching the other day, and it showed his win ratio, and it's better out of all the kind of, I think it's the last 7 managers. All right, he did play the lower leagues, so you'd be expecting him to be winning the majority of them, but even at that, as you say, he maybe got a wee bit of a raw deal on it, because he's a better win ratio than the past 5 to 7 managers, or whatever. But I think the game's turned that way now, is that, and I think that there's an accountability upstairs that they can get away with. The fans are all now focused on, the 4 lads that are in there. Dream Team, I think it was. We got a wee text message, Charlie, and a WhatsApp group, and they were asking us what you think of the Dream Team. But I think that's an easy way to take the pressure. I mean, because the definitely the personnel is no there, and the big thing I would say, like, I was a wee bit maybe disagreed with there, Charlie. He said about Clement. I think the tactics, when he makes a change, I don't see it's literally, it ends up like for like. There's no formation changes. There's nothing changes in the sense of going, you're watching and going, right, bring somebody on, and nothing really changes. Just kind of they're doing the exact same job. So he's no changing shape or trying a different tactic. It's kind of, it's built for the European matches. It's built for not having the ball. You know what I mean? I think they struggle when you've got the ball.
What you're saying, and for me, I understand what you're saying there, but we should always be playing at Ibrox with 2 men up front. I don't care who we're playing against. We should always 2 men up front. We should always believe in ourselves to go and play a 3-5-2 or whatever we have to go and do. And I just think what you're saying, Scott, is he's bringing on likes for likes. But I think that's all he's got. He's got Lawrence is similar to Bajrami. Agami is similar to Dessers, or Agami can maybe play number 10. But he's calling it Agamam, so he was. So play Agamam through the middle. Dessers, who's done actually well in the last few months, okay, but Agamam's a better player, a better talent. Get him in, get him playing. If he's not doing it in training, he's not doing it, right, take him out. He's a young boy, take him out. For instance, Jeffrey, who was our best player up until 5 weeks ago, until Chelsea were interested in him, has went down like a ton of bricks. For me, I still believe in Salah's got to be a player. But on Sunday, as a team, we get bullied. And at the side of the pitch, the manager didn't really know what to do. And he never really does. And that was the problem. He always made the same changes, as you say. If we were 1 each, he wouldn't go to a free at the back and then push another guy up front. He'd take off like for like, and hopefully he could change the game for him. And then taking off your best players like Hadji and whatever. Hadji's definitely one of our best players, and he always likes to take him off after about 60, 70 minutes. And Czerny, for me, who's had, don't get me wrong, his success this season has been great. Technically a very good football player, and I believe he has to do more. And people might have a go at me here because he scored maybe 13 goals and set up how many assists, but I believe he's a weak link when we're having to defend. And he's no Brian Laudrup, and we've not got players in the middle of the park who played when we were playing who would work their arses off and cover every inch of the grass, and who would defend properly, tackle properly, and then we were never afraid. We were always up in people's faces. We knew what we had to do to win games, and against teams like Kilmarnock in our day were a very strong, hard-working team. Made things difficult for us, but we always kind of 95% of the time we knew how to get through the game. But it just, Philip didn't look as if he was getting the best out of the players, and I just don't believe the players are good enough. That's the big problem. I think that is the ultimate problem.
I don't know if any of you've seen the clips of the training today, but there's Paul saying, I get that a new manager bounce happens, but the team did look a lot faster. We've obviously spoke about Clement tactics. Would you get a reaction? I'd imagine you would, Scott.
I mean, well, I was just going to touch on something there. Charlie was saying, I thought Dessers absolutely had seemed to turn things around, but he got dropped, and he was sitting on that bench watching the team winning and scoring without him, and then he's coming on as a sub, and you're going, he's looking phenomenal. He'd actually done really well, but I don't think within the squad there's enough depth to like Czerny. He's such a great player. There's nobody you can really bring in that's going to do a better job than him. So, and he probably knows that. So he can have the off days. His standards maybe not getting kept to the standard that normally is. If Charlie's sitting in that 9 in a row team, you look at that bench and there's somebody coming on biting at your heels, wanting your position. And I don't know that Rangers have got that strength and depth in the squad that you look around and go, well, who's going to come on and do a better job? But
Scott, it's definitely, and I know what you're saying. My reserve team would beat that Rangers team now. The team I played with reserves would probably beat that Rangers team right now. And I'm not even saying probably, we would have. Some of the guys I played reserve team football with at the time would definitely be better than that Rangers team. And that's not because there is good players in the team now, and they are. I think they're a young team, but we need more. But I just think, it's just hard to take in. It is killing everybody's enthusiasm, because you get 1 week, you go, yeah, and then another 2 weeks, you go, oh, shit, where are we going? But to this day, I still believe Clement shouldn't have been in a job for another 2 weeks anyway.
Do you know, obviously,
sorry, Ricki, answer your question of the bounce. I think there will be. I think I didn't see the training footage. I'd seen some pictures of the boys kind of pointing all this stuff in the papers, kind of pointing and shouting and coaching. But that's very healthy for hearing that it's looking like there's maybe a bit more pressing and a bit more pace to it. I mean, I'm not being funny. I mean, like when you play football at any level, you know, if you can get the ball zipping about and moving about, it's very difficult for the opposition. And you used to watch and go, too many touches, taking your time, going back the way, dead easy, dead predictable. So I think a wee injection of pace and parting with the ball first time and getting it moving a wee bit would make a huge difference already. So we're interested to see what he can get out of that team. As Charlie says, they're not as good as past Rangers teams by any means, but I think you can get more out of them than Clement was getting out of them. Because I even think in his interviews, he wasn't inspiring. In his interviews, he was very frustrating. You're sitting watching him, and he's talking some nonsense sometimes in the interviews.
But Scott, the least thing you can do, and I'm not talking about my teams to the team now, the least thing you can do is go out and give 100%, no matter what. You can be fast, you can be in a boot, you can be aggressive. It's just been a lot, and we've had none of that from some of them. And it's the same, 90% of the players there, it's been them, it's got the same manager sacked over the last 3 years. We come in, we get a wee buzz, and then bang, chucked it. And have the players chucked it? I don't know the players personally. I'm just beginning to think it's just not good enough. How can you go for the game in New Year winning the way they did, the way they pressed Celtic, the way they were about the game, and then you get the Queen's Park game, and then you get the St Mirren game yesterday? There's just consistency levels are very poor, and injuries haven't helped, of course. I think when we've got our strongest squad on, we're actually a decent team. But there's something that there needs a whole new team in there. And the guys who are going to come in, as in Barry, Terry and Griggsy and Dodsey, give them a month and the players will be getting them out the door because they'll not be asked for them because they're all here at the end of the season. That'll be their idea. That's what it looks like to me.
I mean, Barry Ferguson had his kind of first match presser the day as well, and he's come out and said that he's already spoke with Tavernier, saying that he still will be the captain, and there's loads of comments, I can't go through them all, but there's loads of comments saying they're not having Tav as captain, that's awful, etc. You know, do you think he should have made a change with Tav there?
Well, it's a difficult one, right? Because you're known a group of players. If you go in right away and you make big changes and you lose some in the dressing room because they're all pals, is that the reality? So I don't know. Sometimes I was worried they'd go in and stick with kind of the similar, kind of go in and play it safe, play similar team, just ask them to do a wee bit different because they're not rocking the boat too much. But I mean, I think time will tell. But and Raskin in the European match was phenomenal and was a leader. So that was kind of where I was looking going. He's done a smashing job there when he took care of the armband. But I don't know. I'd like to see as the team again without Tav and see how we look. Is there any? I don't know in terms of, is there anybody coming in? I mean, he looked all right at centre back. See when he moved to centre back, actually against Queen's Park, he stepped in at centre back. I thought he looked, because he wasn't getting caught out for pace or anything on the wing. But I don't know how he'd be at a higher level.
No, but the thing, I played the European game at centre back, was it no? And he looked all right because he wasn't running forward like a maniac, but he does every week. And by the way, he does great at that. Obviously, defensively, he gets caught out when we lose the ball and the counter attack hits us. But he's not a centre back, definitely not. Maybe a centre back, free. He could play the right, free. He would have probably got bullied on Sunday as well if he'd played a free at the back. Does Tab not the captain anymore? Well, that's up to the new guys. Tab's part of the problem over the years. Sterling's never fit. I think maybe Clement was thinking about bringing Sterling in to take Tab's position, and then he's injured again. So, for me, there's a lot of work to do, and I think the guys, if we do get the 49ers coming in, hopefully sooner rather than later, they can get somebody in position. If it's not going to be these guys who have just taken over, as in Barry and Terry and that. Terry McCann, that's what we call Neil McCann, just in case you don't know, sorry. But if we're going to have a new manager in place by the end of the season, there's got to be a clear out, and hopefully they provide the money if there's a takeover, because we're just going through the same old system every single year. Guys are getting promised money. They're not getting the money. Gerrard, no getting the money. We win the league, no getting the money. Giovanni gets to the European final, wins the Scottish Cup. 3 months later, he's out. Very hard done by. Bale, how Bale got the job, I'll never know. And they lasted 6 months. For me, it was probably 3 months too long. But it's just a disappointing stage of the season again, and we're going to go through a season without winning a trophy again. Although we did win the League Cup last season under Clement, and he should have won the league, and these same players blew it. So,
well, here's a question then that came to me, and I seen somebody else saying it the other day. So obviously they're saying about like the Queen's Park game, right? St Mirren game. So if you didn't get him go after the St Mirren, after Queen's Park, you've got the St Mirren result. Well, we've got this huge European tie coming up. Should we have waited till that, and if we went out, then you bring in the new boys? Or do you think they were right to give the boys a shot at this European? Do you think the new management team deserved a chance at chasing the European glory, or do you think it's too soon? It's coming too soon for them against a manager and a team like Mourinho and Fenerbahce?
Well, Mourinho's...
If you were the board, I think you would have kept him on.
Well, he knows the game inside out, Mourinho. He'll be thinking, looking at Barry and the boys who are all very good football players and maybe good manager on right at the clubs they've been at, but he maybe have feared Clement a bit more because Clement did do well in Europe. So it's up to the boys to make sure we're hard to beat when we go and play Fenerbahce, make sure we get a result tomorrow night. Confidence does build, but it's the same old thing. The players just aren't good enough, and we could a UEFA Cup run, and it wouldn't surprise us to end up in the European final this year again. I know it will be very difficult. I know, but we seem to save our best performances for Thursday nights, and long may it continue because it's the highest echelon of the game and it's the best place to be. But first and foremost, we have to be winning league titles and not getting good runs in Europe. I'd rather be at the last 16 in Europe and win the league, of course I would, but I just don't know where we go for here. We need investment very quickly, and hopefully the 49ers are going to take over and the board can get all that sorted.
It's as if the board are waiting for that to happen before making any big change to the management as well. Just going back to the UEFA thing, and I don't know if it's right, but somebody was saying that Barry Ferguson isn't actually allowed on the touchline because he wasn't named in the squad.
What, is he playing?
No, do you know what I mean? But because he was...
I see the same thing, Ricki, and a couple of comments doing somebody saying a lot of crap. He's done all the badges, he's done all the training, he's done all his badges. And
he might have not his pro license, maybe, or something like that. That might be the thing.
I'm just going to... Sorry, when you go.
So I was going to say, somebody written in it, I know that all four of them have done other badges and they're all fine. So I don't know if that's
somebody's asking if you've done your... Have you done your UEFA license, Charlie?
I've got my B license.
Aye, somebody was asking.
So I had my B license because I was trying to get a couple of jobs lower down, and then you never get an interview. So I went, what's the use of doing my A license if I can't get a bloody job at a lower levels? But I done mine in Belfast a few years ago. So aye, these days are gone, I think. I'm just going
to... I seen a wee article in Football Insider, and it was called "The Rangers Predicted 11 versus Kilmarnock After Training Ground Latest." I don't know if any of you've seen it. So this is the squad that they think is going to. This is the squad that they think is going to be playing. Kelly in goals, Jeffy, Suter, Proper, Fernandez, Raskin, Diomande, Hadji, Danilo, Czerny, and Igaman. So no Tavernier.
Jeffy, Suter,
Proper, Fernandez, then Raskin, Diomande, Hadji, Danilo, Czerny, and Igaman. Do you think of that team?
I don't know what I think of that, because is Fernandez ready? Is Suter going to be playing in this stupid AstroTurf pitch? If Danilo want to come straight back in for injury to play in this AstroTurf pitch? I don't know, but we need results, and I'm sure Tav will start. I've no doubt Tav will start tomorrow.
I like the idea that Butland getting dropped, though, to be honest, for his punching it in his own goal, his distribution, and the highlights I've seen for St Mirren kind of going, that was no great at all.
he looked very nervous at the weekend, but see a lot of the times when the players were passing it back, they were passing it to his weak foot and under pressure, so it was making him look like a bit of a diddy as well. You know what I mean?
Butland will start. But there's not a chance that Butland's one of the highest paid players, and the top of the club are going to be saying, "Aye, let's drop Butland," who was probably our best player the week before. And I don't think he was at fault for any of the goals, although he did make a hash of it when he kicked it to their man, but he still made up for it with a great save. I believe Butland will start. If not, then they're making some changes, and good on them. They've got a 4 pair of boys between them, so why not? It's definitely a beer license. Sorry, Paul McQuaid. Paul McCorkle.
Saying you've got a beer license. I'm just going to go through the managers that are in the bookies list now, and you can just kind of have a wee think about each one. So Barry Ferguson's actually 8-1. Russell Martin's 11-2. Stephen Gerrard's 94. Stephen Davis is 16-1. Derek McInnes is 12-1. David Wagner is 10-1. Kevin Muscat 10-1. Kevin Thompson 20-1. Jose Mourinho 20-1. And Sean Dyche is 16-1. Who would you take out of that lot, Scott?
Oh, but you could get Mourinho. What a dream that would be, eh? And to be honest, that would have been a good move for him. Obviously, if he's doing all right though with Fenerbahce, it'll probably not happen. But if he had been out of work, I think he might have fancied it, because there's European football there if we have a good season, and I would certainly shake things up, wouldn't he?
Galatasaray say he's a racist now. He was involved in the Galatasaray Fenerbahce game last night, and they're saying he made racist comments, so they're trying to press charges.
Oh, Christ.
So we don't need any of that, and that will never happen. That he'll come to Rangers, definitely not. The Stevie G came back. I don't think we really need Stevie G back. For me, McInnes has to be the one. For me, McInnes will get us solid. He'll get us organised. He'll make us hard to beat. He'll get us playing good stuff, but very difficult to beat. I know a lot of people don't want Derek, but for me, he's the best man available. Well, not available, but he's probably the best man we could get.
Well, on that, Charlie, why do you think do you think, so Barry and that have came in, do you think that there could have been an approach to McInnes and it's wait to the end of the season and he would come in, or why they not just go and get in the guy? That would be the other question.
I don't think we'll get McInnes now, because I don't think at the end of the season we'll still be run by the same guys at the top of the board, and I believe the 49ers will be taking over, and they'll bring in somebody who they think will take us to a new level. And I don't think Derek McInnes is probably in their thought, unfortunately. But we have to get back to a British guy, I think, somebody who knows. And Stevie Gerrard, I think, for me, had his time. We did win the league, but we won one league out of three. I think he was there for nearly 4 years or whatever, and we won one trophy, which isn't the best, but it was a very important one, and I'll never take that away from him. Definitely not. But I think we could be doing with a British guy. Sean Dyche wouldn't be a bad shout, but I wish his name was Billy Dyche. But Sean Dyche, does he play the football that everybody at Rangers wants? Similar, maybe like Derek. Derek's been over the years. I suppose he's had some good Aberdeen teams with some good white players and things like that. But the board have got a lot of things to think about, and for me, with Stevie G come back, would they really want to come back? His wife isn't staying here with him anyway, wishes, so it wasn't working the first time.
I don't know. I was going to say, I don't know if you look back, what else, he did what he did, and it's he had his shot at it. I don't know that it's worth him coming back. I'd probably go with Dyche probably as well. But again, it all depends if this 49ers money is real, if it's going to come to fruition, if it's going to be what we're all dreaming it will be. Do you know what I mean?
Well,
that is it.
Do you know what? I can actually remember, because I'm the same. I don't really want Gerrard back either. But I can remember when he left. I remember hearing a Rangers player talking to somebody else, and they were asking about how he felt about Gerrard leaving. And he was like, to be honest, there's not much of a difference. He's hardly ever at training anyway. it was meant to be Bill that was doing all this stuff, you know. So it's I don't know if it's a good thing, but there's Aaron Larg saying Walter came in after Le Guin, and was that going backwards? You know, so that's a good argument. But
I don't think you can compare the two, though. I think that's a wee bit. I think that's you can't compare Walter Smith and Stevie Gerrard. That's night and day.
Not at all. Right, we'll move on to tomorrow's game against Motherwell. If you were the new manager, Charlie, how would you set out your team?
5-6. Goal 5-6. I think we have to go 2 up top. I think I would go 3 at the back just to kind of try and the pitch. We never play very well on the pitch, and I wouldn't be trying to take the ball at the back and play for the back. I'd just be playing balls into errors where it's going to hurt Clement on weak and 1 second balls, and I'd play for there. But the new age, everybody thinks you have to play for the back. But even if we've not got the guys with ability, everybody thinks they can still play at the back, but definitely not. So for me, I think we go 3-5-2 tomorrow night if we've got the personnel for it, with injuries and things like that. But I don't see Suter playing tomorrow unless he's fit. But he was never always one that played in that pitch because of his dodgy knees, you know.
Right.
It's a tough place to go to. Kilmarnock tomorrow night and McInnes in charge. That's a difficult first game for Barry and the team, and it's on the AstroTurf pitch. So needing the squad to turn up, and away night in a freezing cold Kilmarnock, probably going to be raining. Need to be turned up, but it'll be interesting. It'll be really good to get a look at the team. It'll be really good to get a look at what they do. I'm hoping that you've got McCann in the team, who's a winger, used to getting down the wing, getting the ball across. I hope to see a bit more of that. This getting to the 18-yard box and turning back is dead frustrating to watch. And a way back along the anchor at the back, and then the other side and way back. I'm a kind of fan of getting the ball in the box more and getting players piling in. So I'm hoping that I will see a bit more of that under the squad.
Score predictions brought to you by Avia Signs.
Sorry, Scott, I just cut you off there just as you were talking.
I was just finished. Perfect timing. I thought he's got that bang on.
Score predictions. I'm going to start with score predictions. I'm going to go for a crazy 5-0 for Rangers. We're going to go for it tomorrow. Scott?
2-0 would bite your horn off, to be honest. So I'm not seeing that, Ricky, but good on you.
Charlie?
I don't know the personnel who's going to be starting. I'm usually always for it, and I just think the players' confidence is gone, and I think we'll be lucky to get away with a 1 each, to be honest with you. I don't see these guys are going to do.
You're going to have another can of Fosters, Charlie?
No, I need to have another 10. But I don't see what they're going to do in 2 days that Clement had before for the last 16 months that is going to change in it. I just believe we're not very good at. As I say, I believe there's a team there, but they just don't seem to like the manager, and they always seem to fall out with the managers, and they drop their dummy tits and they don't want to play for the team, even though they've got all these great supporters going to everywhere and at Ibrox. And I'm upset, and I just feel disappointed with the way things have, how things have turned out. And I hate sacking managers, but I think it was time for him to go, unfortunately. And
well, Charlie, I want to ask you a question on that. Have you ever been in like the situation there, like so that the Barry not going to find themselves going in, they've got the 2 days to prep, and they're going to try and still change? Have you been in a situation where somebody new's come in and you've had as little time as that as a player in a team? And what was the reaction of the team? Is it doable? Could you see them and it be night and day?
Yeah, you usually get a reaction 100%. But Derek will have his team fired up. He'll be saying they'll get a new manager reaction. He's no daft. He'll have them organised and hard to beat as he always does at Rugby Park. And that's a difficult game tomorrow night. And if we get a result, I'll be very surprised, because I just think the players are well off it at the moment, and I think they've gave up, to be honest with you. And it's disheartening. It really is.
Mm-hmm. Well, Scott, the last time we had you on, you were just about to start your new show, Singing I'm, Billy, He's a Tim. You're now up and flowing. How's it all going now?
You're right. That's us kind of really in full flow now. This is the kind of the big bit of the tour where we're going along. We're in Eden Court in Inverness this Friday, and it's 800 people coming to see us. You know, it's phenomenal. Really looking forward to it. Eden Court's a great place to go. Inverness is a great city to go up as well. And then we've got Lanark on the Saturday night. I don't know who booked that. I booked the tours. So we're in Inverness on Friday night, and then we've got to drive the van after the show back down the road near to Lanark to stay, and then we're doing Lanark, and then we're in Rutherglen for a couple of nights, and then East Kilbride, and then in April, Charlie and Simon Donnelly are joining us in the show because we're doing a very special Legends version.
That's how it's not a famous five, Scott. That's how it's only the four of them. I can't get involved in it.
He's too busy. He's been booked up. He's too busy being an actor. See, so me and Charlie met in Angels Share, and I seen his potential on the screen. I thought, if I ever get a chance, I'll get him on the stage with us.
100%.
You get an actual line this time, aye? Excuse me? You get a line in it? Do you get an actual bit of talking in it?
Right.
They come along and see. They come and see. I need to come see the show. It's been grand. It's been phenomenal. And I'll be honest, this time we toured the show 15 years ago, and we kind of probably in terms of football wise, we're kind of old school in terms of actors. We use our voices in the theatres to hit the back wall. So all the training is that people can hear you in the theatre. But the modern theatre audience are so used to microphones that we're using microphones on this tour. But it does totally change the show because what you can say in a whisper, do you know what I mean? The microphone picks up, takes it to the back row without you having to work so hard to do a stage whisper. So it's kind of been really interesting for us. It's changed the show. We've also got a young offenders cast who've been coming in and rehearsing, 2 young boys at 15, and they're absolutely brilliant. And they're the next generation. So when me and Colin we started out 15 years ago, nearly 20 years ago. So we'll be retiring soon for touring the country as heavy as well now, and the young boys will take care. But it's great to see somebody else doing it. Do you know what I mean? The young boys coming in and putting their spin on it and their take on it. It's really, really cool. So
you can just Google it, can't you? And they'll be able to buy tickets online.
If they go to scottkyle.co.uk is the website for all the tickets. So I'll just stick in Scott Kyle. The venue.
Sorry, Scott. I'm sure Scott would give maybe a couple of tickets on if you want to win a couple of tickets on here.
Yeah, if you want to do a wee competition, just do a competition, Ricky, for any of the tour dates because people obviously are watching for air. So we'll not say one specific show, but if they win something, they can just tell us what show they want to come to and we'll sort it out.
Right, thank you very much, Scott. That's excellent.
And you'll see my acting talents. Scott, sorry, you were finishing. Sorry there, pal.
So we've got the tour all planned. We've got Charlie and Simon joining us, and how that show works is they get a wee cameo in the play, and then they do a Q&A after it. And we already did a fantastic Q&A at the Tartan Coo pub a couple of weeks ago. It was a brilliant wee Q&A, and that was the first kind of Old Firm legends with both sides of the Old Firm there, and it was absolutely fascinating and fantastic to have Charlie and Simon there, sharing their stories for knowing each other for boyhood, so absolutely brilliant. So people are in for a treat, but hopefully people will come along and support the show. There's still a few tickets left at some of the venues, so check out the website.
Excellent. And Charlie, do you know, I don't know if you know, I'm going down to Corby with your big mate Oz on the 22nd of March. Aye, so flying down on the 22nd of March, so there's still a few tickets available. Just go on Facebook and go to, I think it's James Crawford, or even just message me if you want some tickets for it. But what's he like? I've never actually done a Q&A with him.
He's a morning face cunt. Nah, you'll get a good laugh with us. He's got a good dry sense of humour. Great lad, one of my best pals, and we came through the ranks together at Rangers, love him to bits, and he would probably been involved in that 4 if he wasn't an agent. I'm sure he would have been. So, but you'll get a good laugh with him. He's a great lad.
Is that true? When he first came to Rangers, you kind of took him under your wing and took him to a pub in Castlemilk?
Yep, 100%. And that's how we get called odds, because we didn't. It was either be Skippy or Kangaroo or Koala, so Oz sounded better than Craig. What a good football player he was, by the way. What a great centre half. And unfortunately, at the beginning they get utilised at right back, but he hated and but he done a job, and sometimes he get caught out because he was such a great centre back.
Brilliant. Right, that's us at the end of the show. Scott, thank you very much for coming on. That was brilliant.
No worries. Thanks for having
Charlie,
us.
hopefully we'll be in the studio next week with Fergie. If he's back.
No chance of that, is there? His knees gubbed.
No. We'll be back next Tuesday. Hopefully he's back his holiday. And thanks again, everyone. Thanks for our sponsors. And we'll see you again next Tuesday. Take care.
Brought to you by our sponsors. The JR Group. Plugged in Business Solutions. DB Dental Care. Reflex Blue. The Right Software. Dev Provider. And Avia Signs. Our chosen charity partner is the Second Chance Project. We are now official agents for the Rangers Lotto. Find out more at www.allaboutthegers.co.uk.